Good afternoon and thank you for choosing NBC 29. I'm cj.Paschall. 3 months after its last city manager stepped down, Charlottesville will finally have an interim. NBC 29's Max Marcilla introduces us to the new man set to lead the city. We're back at 12:30. I'm cj.Paschall. Wrapping up his first year in office today, President Biden will hold his second formal press conference. While the president is expected to highlight his administration's accomplishments, he's bracing for tough questions on shortfalls such as voting rights legislation and the status of the Build Back Better bill. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington with more on what we can expect from the president today. We have breaking news at this hour. An 18-year-old has been charged in connection with threats made against Albemarle High School on social media 2 weeks ago. Brian Jafet Galias Oliva of Albemarle County has been charged with 1 count of making threats of death or bodily harm. The Albemarle County Police Department says the investigation into these threats is ongoing. It's asking anyone with more information to contact them at 434-296-5807. In our top stories this morning, UVA Medical Center is reviewing the employment status of one of its neurologists who's admitted to 2 felony child porn charges. America this morning at 4:47, 3 people were killed and a 4th is seriously injured after an SUV collided with a snowplow in a suburb of Washington, D.C. For money this afternoon, the Better Business Bureau is issuing a warning about fake COVID-19 testing sites. It comes as high demand for the tests is leading a surge in mobile COVID-19 testing, tents and vans on street curbs and sidewalks across the country. Health officials are also sounding the alarm about these pop-up businesses, saying you could be putting your health, your money, and your personal data at risk. In today's Consumer Watch, how to avoid getting scammed. In our top stories this morning, last night we were on the scene when the rescue crews carried a woman out of the water and into a vehicle where she was then brought to UVA Medical Center. We still don't know exactly how the woman got into the water. 13 parents in Chesapeake are suing Governor Glenn Youngkin over his executive order that effectively ends mask mandates in schools K through 12. The parents argue that a 2021 state law that requires school to offer in-person learning also requires schools to follow CDC guidance, which currently recommends students mask up. The suit argues the governor does not have the power to suspend that law, and they want the state Supreme Court to declare his executive order void. In yesterday's press conference, one of the issues President Biden cited in dealing with the pandemic included those 400 million N95 masks the White House will offer the public. With the rollout just days away for some, it could be weeks until they have those protective masks in hand. And it comes just as the battle over masks continues to play out in court and at school. Miguel Almaguer has more. Your money this afternoon. The U.S. Postal Service is confident it can deliver millions of at-home COVID-19 tests to Americans, but some Americans aren't so sure. They say mail's been delayed for weeks, likely caused by the Omicron surge. Dave Cohen has the details. Nationwide staffing issues are impacting law enforcement and mental health services. There's been an increase in mental health emergencies during the pandemic, and it's creating issues for officers and deputies in the Shenandoah Valley. NBC 29's Tara Todd explains why. Take a look at Dominion's outage map. There are outages across the state. Nearly 25,000 customers in Albemarle County alone are in the dark. Nearly 3,000 in Fluvanna and more than 4,000 in Louisa are without power. It's the culmination of years of work, making dollars and cents out of the next phase, the Virginia Museum of Natural History in Waynesboro. We'll explain coming up. Three Notch Brewery is rallying around a bartender who lost his home in a fire. Juan Izaguirre's home was destroyed on December 28th. Three Notch is promoting a GoFundMe for him and his family. The fundraiser was created 5 days ago and has already raised more than $41,000. Three Notch says it's grateful for the outpouring of support. If you would like to help the Izaguirre family, we have a link to the GoFundMe on our website. Pavilion Kirby, how are you doing today?
We're a little busy today.
Just a little bit busy?
Just a little
Why,
busy.
is there something going on tonight?
Well, we're going to open the gates and see how how the crowd comes in tonight. But yeah, we've got a lot of activity. Just
It's been around as long as that franchise has been around. Definitely a hearty meal.
I mean, and today they're having a special offer where I think it's only
63 cents.
63 cents, so you can practically just scrape the bottom of your purse.
Yeah, that's right.
Just
Some of
cup
that
holder
change.
change, you know.
Have nothing
Well, those 3 are all for David. I put those over. I don't think, if I try to get them back, I think I'll lose a hand, but I've already got mine.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
I would take a bite, but you don't.
Come on.
Oh, I am. I'm
here we
digging
go.
in.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
you can't.
I'd like to thank the Hendricks family and all their efforts to get up extra early and bring us these.
And Franklin, who brought them delivered to them.
Yes, thank you, Franklin.
Thank you, appreciate
This
it.
is the only way you can shut me up. Absolutely. I mean, it's exciting. First snow day of the year.
Yeah.
A little strange to have been wearing. I wore a tank top to the grocery store yesterday.
Yeah.
And now it is.
Bizarro.
It's sleeting right now, from what I understand. We're going to send it over to David for a little more on what we can expect. So, David, when is this change potentially going to happen?
Well, what do you think it's going to be like when you take the stage and see that crowd? Because they have been huge crowds all 3 weeks so far.
I heard. I unfortunately didn't even get to attend the first few because I had other gigs of my own, and this is the first one I'll be at.
Italians only can wear it on New Year's Eve, December 31st. Have to throw them away after that. So talk about a waste of a good pair of underwear. But I guess if you get good luck for the year,
there you go.
It's worth
so
it.
So you buy a new pair, wear it, or is it a pair that you wear? That
You can, a pair
that you have, but you got to throw it away after.
Got to throw it away
for the spell to work.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I'm going to be going to the store after the show ends. Don't ask why. Just got to cover the bases. All right. Well, when it comes to winter, it's all downhill from here. But a lot of people were happy to head in that direction. NBC 29's Andrew Webb headed to Washington Park in Charlottesville, aka Sled Central, when the snow falls.
I'm sure that you guys did not think in your wildest imaginations when you wrapped up the season in 2019 that it would be almost 2 full years before you were being able to get back to live music. Talk to me about what's going through your mind and your emotions right now.
Well, we had booked last year's season before we got shut down.
Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure, but in this next story, it's the goats that are the real winners. They're happily snacking on discarded Christmas trees. Kristen Mitchell has more. Your Health Connection this afternoon. A premature baby born in Richmond is defying the odds and astonishing doctors. Leilani is being called a miracle. She was born at just 22 weeks, weighing about 1 pound. After 4 months in the NICU, she is finally home. Riley Wyatt shares her story. For the very latest on the road conditions, we turn to VDOT spokesperson Lou Hatter from the Culpeper District. Good morning, Lou. How are you? Do we have Lou? All right, we may not have Lou on the line, but as he has been saying all morning, if you have to leave, if you have to drive, drive slowly, drive gently, as Ken Slack from the Stanton District told us earlier. Take those turns with a little bit of time. We're looking right now at Route 29 and Rio Road. You can see accumulation already present on the road. That snow is coming down very, very quickly at a rate of about potentially 1 to 2 inches an hour, and that's may not sound like much, but that is very fast for snow. So as David has been calling it all morning, an efficient system.
Yes.
And of course, we appreciate VDOT for coming in and hanging out with us this morning and getting the information to you guys about how careful we need to be.
Absolutely. If you can delay those travel plans, do so.
But first, here's a live look at downtown Charlottesville, and this is just one road, East Market Street. It's right outside our station, but even in this, you can see a lot of the things that we're talking about this morning. First of all, that main road, as we've been hearing from VDOT all morning, primary roads like this are in pretty minor condition. They're plowed, they're salted and sanded, but there still may be some slick spots. As you can see, there are some shiny reflective spots on that shot that we're showing you right now. And if you see, Josh pointed this out after the last time we showed you this. The flags outside of the Charlottesville Police Station, they are flapping in the breeze. We are expecting some windy conditions today, and that will only continue, so something to keep an eye on for sure. But secondary roads are still going to be a little bit more treacherous than Market Street is right now, something that you're going to want to keep an eye on as you get out the door this morning. We'll be right back with more news. As we move throughout the state, temperatures thankfully will rise above freezing, but what is VDOT going to be working on for the remainder of this Monday?
Some picked up new hobbies, and one that has exploded in popularity is knitting.
The words knitting and exploding almost never in the same sentence. It's a hobby that many of us associate with grandmothers, but Minnesota has a growing group of men who love to knit. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield has their story. In your money this morning, the U.S. economy is entering the new year with serious momentum. Average weekly jobless claims near the lowest level in 52 years, and the unemployment rate is down to 4.2% from November. Check in on your morning commute this morning. A couple of things to take note of here. First, you're looking live at mile marker 99 on Interstate 64. As you can see, heavy fog on Afton Mountain. So if you're coming into Charlottesville or going west on that stretch of road, be aware and take some time. Leave a little bit extra following distance and make sure you have your headlights on. A little bit farther down the road, if your commute is going to take you westbound towards Stanton, there is a crash at mile marker 89 on Interstate 64. A tractor trailer was involved. The westbound right lane and right shoulder are closed, so be aware of that. Take a little bit of extra time in your morning commute. Other than that fog, we are looking pretty good on the weather front. David Rogers, this is potentially going to be some very good snow for the kids to get out and enjoy.
Yeah.
A lot of it in a very short amount of time is what we're looking at. David, it is already starting to fall. What is the latest on the potential total? You guys had just released an album. You were getting ready to go on tour up and down the East Coast, and then lockdown. Talk to me a little bit about that and what you guys have been up to over the last year.
Yeah, we had really been kicking into gear, I would say, more than we had ever before.